Hello and good afternoon to you. I'm Rachel reporting to you live from 𝐊𝐤𝐴 Studios. It's lunchtime here in Sydney and it's time for the Mid-Market Pulse. In this show, we'll take a look at the overall Australian share market performance by midday. We'll also explore the biggest winners and losers of the day so far before focusing on stocks that have grabbed the headlines so far today. Australian shares continue to witness a surge in selling in afternoon trade as ex-dividend stocks dragged the market lower. The weak cues from Wall Street as well as concerns about the Delta COVID-19 variant derailing economic growth also injected negativity into the market. The biggest drag on the market was Fortescue Metals. Their shares nosedived around 9%. That's after the iron ore miner turned ex-dividend today. The ASX 200 was currently trading lower by 56.5 points or 0.75% to 7,466.4 by lunchtime. Earlier today, the index opened in the red and declined as much as 1.1% to hit a low of 7,440.1. All 11 sectors are currently bleeding in the red, while the energy sector declined the most so far today. The energy sector was down over 2%, followed by consumer staples, which fell 1.3%. Materials, healthcare, financials and 𝐕𝐝Ts are trading lower by 1% each. Among others, telecom, consumer discretionary industrials and utilities also witnessed a surge in selling activity. Now, if we look at the COVID-19 front, Australia's two most populous states of New South Wales and Victoria continue to battle with COVID-19 cases as the outbreak that started in mid-June continues to grow. New South Wales reported 1,281 new local cases and 5 deaths in the past 24 hours, while Victoria recorded 246 infections as the state races to vaccinate people to curb the spread of this outbreak. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian says that the state is likely to reach a peak in COVID-19 cases in the next week or so. Meanwhile, in a respite to people of Queensland, the state faces less risk of lockdown as it reported no new locally acquired cases of COVID-19, while total number of active cases stands at 20. Now let's turn our attention to the biggest gainers and losers in the mid-market session. Blue chip miner Fortescue Metals topped the losers chart by their shares falling 8.85% so far today. Some of the other top laggers are healthcare firm Pro Medicus, real estate investment trust Viva Energy REIT, realty firm Lendlease and gold miner Westgold Resources. On the gaining side, software firm Appen was the top performer with a 4.5% gain. Some of the other notable gainers are alumina and bauxite producer Alumina, buy now pay later player 𝐊𝐴𝐴, nickel mines and retail travel outlet Flight Centre Travel Group. Let us look at some other companies that grabbed the headlines today. First up, shares of Magellan Financial Group fell almost 2%. That's after the company issued an update on their funds under management for August. The global equities-focused investment management firm has reported a 0.3% growth in retail FUM. The institutional FUM rose 1%. Meanwhile, global equities grew by 0.6%. Infrastructure equities surged by 1.3% and Australian equities also climbed 1.3%. Next up, mining and civil construction services provider NRW Holdings saw their shares tumble 4% so far today. The company's wholly owned subsidiary Golden Contractors has inked a 5-year contract extension with Southern Cross Fertilisers for its Phosphate Hill operation. The mining contract at Phosphate Hill will be valid until the 6th of September 2026. While its value is estimated to be around $110 million and $120 million over that term. Now it's time for a very short break. I'll be back soon.
Tune in to stay updated while on the move.
We will tell you where the crypto craze has reached,
Where the property market is headed next.
What the world is doing to become more environmentally friendly.
Apart from tracking the daily market charter.
Be on top of the latest news and announcements
With 𝐊𝐿𝐴 TV.
Welcome back, I'm Rachel. Shares of the AMA Group have entered into a trading halt. That's pending an announcement related to a fundraising. The company says its shares will remain in a trading halt until Friday or when the announcement is released to the market. Next, the share price of Premier Investments was down 2%. That's after the company said that Richard Murray has started his new role as Chief Executive Officer today, a month ahead of schedule. The former CEO of JB Hi-Fi was expected to start in October. Moving on, Washington H. Soul Pattinson shares dipped almost 3%, even after the investment firm expects to report robust earnings in the 2021 financial year. The company anticipates its net profit after tax to nearly double to around $336 million compared to $170 million in the prior year. The key drivers of the company's growth are capital value of the portfolio, growing yield and strong earnings contributions from its group companies New Hope, Brickworks and Round Oak. The company is expected to release its full year results on the 23rd of September. Next, shares of Hansen Technology dropped over 11%. That's after the BGH Capital Group withdrew its non-binding acquisition proposal. The company reported that Australian private equity firm BGH has decided to withdraw its unsolicited proposal to acquire Hansen. BGH Capital had proposed to acquire all of the outstanding shares in Hansen by way of a scheme of arrangement at a price of $6.50 cash per share. Next, shares of natural beauty company BWX fell over 1% after they issued an update on an acquisition of Flora and Fauna, a leading Australian curated online retail platform exclusively focused on vegan, ethical and sustainable projects. In May this year, BWX had announced to buy Flora and Fauna for a price of $27.9 million to $30.8 million, based on a calculation of their financial year 2021 revenue. The company confirmed the total consideration paid for the acquisition was $28.1 million. Moving on now, shares of Suncorp remained in focus after Suncorp Bank ventured into a buy now, pay later space in association with Visa, the global leader in digital payments. The bank is offering a new interest-free BNPL product which can be used to make payments via physical and digital Visa debit card. The BNPL offering will be available for purchases over $50 and be split into 4 fortnightly instalments. A limit of $1,000 will apply once the bank determines eligibility, which it will assess through a credit check. The service will be available to Suncorp customers from November through the Suncorp app. And lastly, the share price of Pinnacle Investment Management traded marginally lower despite announcing an underwritten dividend reinvestment plan. The 2021 final dividend will be fully underwritten and the funds raised will be primarily used to acquire a further 10% of Coolabah Capital Investments, taking their stake to 35% in the company. The dividend reinvestment plan applies to the 17 cents per share final dividend declared for the year ending 30th of June. That's all from me for now. Keep watching 𝐊𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞 TV. I'm Rachel, signing off for now.